Welcome back. Let's go back to one of our top stories now. Public Enterprises has agreed to pay 3 months outstanding salaries to SAA employees who have not been paid for 8 months. This is in a revised final settlement offer by the department. For more details, I'm joined by the department's DG, Kgathatso Tlhakudi. Thanks for your time, DG. Appreciate it on this public holiday. First, unpack the settlement offer to unions for us.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me on your show. Let me first explain the 8 months. As everyone is aware, the airline basically from March started curtailing its operations in order to preserve cash. We had the lockdown coming in for about 2 months. I think April and May is when we had level 5 and 4. And not long after that, the business went into care and maintenance, as the funding that we were hoping that would have come in earlier took time due to the processes within government that we had to go through. So the 8 months, for 8 months, this business was not generating any cash. And for that 8 months, most of the employees had been requested to stay at home. Only those that were critical to maintaining the facilities kept coming into the office, and they were compensated accordingly. So what we are not asking employees here is to forgo salaries that they had earned, but I mean that they had come into the office, there had been production, and there were revenues that had been gained. So what we have done, we had negotiated with the employees in the lead up to the approval of the business rescue plan that we're going to pay them 2 months salaries for the unpaid months. And of course, due to the delays, 4 months of delays that we experienced getting the money, that additional 4 months came in. And of course, yes, in the mix, there's 2 months of lockdown that are in there. So what we have done is, last week, Friday, we engaged the unions and we said, we are in a position to pay 3 months instead of 2 months originally promised. Can you pay this 3 months so that we can release money to employees who are now getting into the festive season? They need some relief in terms of finances, and this really was a major intention and remains our intention to pay that. If we pay the 8 months, the reality of it is that there will not be adequate cash to not only restructure the airline but also to relaunch operations. So what we are asking is that the employees take a bit of sacrifice for the future of this airline, which has served them so well. Some of them have really made great careers out of this, out of SAA. So that's all that we are asking from the employees. Thank you.
And if they don't agree, because we know unions were very steadfast in their demand for those 8 months, and we tried to get a hold of NUMSA as well. They say they're still studying the statement. They'll probably respond tomorrow. But if they don't agree, then where are you left?
Well, if they did not agree, they're putting the restructure of the airline and its relaunch at risk. We don't have more funds within government. Everyone is aware the pain that government had to take in order to enable this money to be made available to SAA. So they will not be going back to government to ask for more funds. So in principle, what it means is that we cannot get started with the restructure unless we have assurance that the funds that we have will carry us through the whole process. So what we are asking the unions in this case, we are asking them to really preserve this airline, which we still expect to hire 1,000 employees going forward. It's not, obviously it's a relatively small number compared to the 4,600 that we employed in the airline. But at least give it a chance to ensure that it has some foothold and is able to grow going forward. We'll have to assess the repercussions of that decision by the union, but they are grave. Let me just put it that way, and it will really be an unfortunate position if they were to come back with that.
So let me just break this down for our viewers who are joining us. You've given them outstanding salaries of 3 months. You're also giving them a back pay to remaining employees, a 5.9% increase as a lump sum, and then a bonus payment as well, except for pilots. Can you tell us, DG, how much this is costing SAA?
This is going to, it's about 600 and just over 600 million, let me put it that way, that will be going towards this unpaid salaries and some of the outstanding obligations to employees. That's what we are looking at, yes.
And what about pilots? I see they're left out of this bonus pay that you've offered workers. Tell us why, and what's your engagement with pilots? How's that going to work?
Well, the pilots have opted right from the beginning not to be part of a solution to the financial challenges that are facing SAA. And as everyone is aware, we have with the pilots an agreement, an apartheid agreement that guaranteed them very generous benefits and very generous salary packages. And we have, over many years and through many iterations of management and boards as they try to negotiate with them, that the position that they have taken is with regard to preserving an apartheid package is not doing good for the airline. If anything, it is killing the airline. We are at a point where we can't relaunch the airline with the same agreement and conditions of employment that they had in the past. So we have taken a position that unless they come around and they want to become a feature of this airline, we are going to have to look for alternatives in that regard. So that's where we are, the position that we are on with the pilots. But we hope that sense will eventually prevail because those packages cannot be protected. The public, if they were to know the extent of them, and I believe quite a significant portion of the public already knows, they would really, they will be quite, I'm looking for the right word,
detrimental.
Disgusted to see that a public entity is providing the kind of salary packages that these pilots are getting, which are way above market norms in this country. In the actual fact, they feature quite in the highly when compared to other pilots internationally. They cannot be defended.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Public Enterprises DG Kgathatso Tlhakudi.